this. Our poverty, our neediness provides a doorway for God to bless us with His true riches. Because the rich people have too much to lose. They have too much to lose. Their reputation. Remember the Pharisees? Well, this woman doesn't belong here. So they said to Jesus, if you only know the reputation of this woman, you wouldn't even talk to her. That's how those elite would talk. That's how the typical elite people would talk. They are on their own world, right? They have their own world, they have their own everything. They don't need anybody. You understand? Not like us, we say, oh, I need everybody. I need everybody. I cannot live without everybody else. But if you are super rich, you don't think that way. You see, that's the paradox of poverty. When you are needy, you're closer to God. I mean, if you have nothing, who do you trust? You have no one to trust but God. You have nothing. No money, no job, no nothing.
But you got it.
You agree? That's the paradox of poverty. Our emptiness. We have nothing. So what do we do? Our emptiness provides room for God to go to work. Because when you're empty, has that happened? Have you gone that far in your life even once? You're so in want of whatever things. You have no one to turn to but God. So you kneel down before the Blessed Sacrament and you say to God, I surrender to you my life, Lord God. I don't know what else to do. I have no one to turn to. I have nothing whatsoever, and you're the only one I have. Have you gone that low before? Even once? Probably not, but yes. This is a fact. Did I tell you that I have a little poster in my office that says, it's after I've lost everything, that's when I realize that all I need is God. Because when you have God, you're not in want. You have everything when you have God. Because a lot of times we think, oh, I have to have a job, I have to have this, I have to have savings, I have to have so many accounts, I have to have at least one house, I have to have, oh, I cannot, what? One car, one family? No way! One car for each. So, you're so attached to these things. You need this to live. You need this to live. And you know, when it gets to that point, you need those things to live. That's not a good sign. You know why? Because God is not needed. That's the point when you don't need God, because you have everything you needed. That's the paradox of poverty. Are you poor enough to be free? Are you poor enough to be free? Yeah. Or are you rich enough to be in prison? That's the opposite of this. If you have so much, you're in prison. Because you become a slave to all those things. So are you poor enough to be free? Believe it or not, poverty can usher in strange blessings. I'm a firm believer. I think if I will be given the chance to preach but once in my life, the one I will talk about is Romans 8:28. Because Romans chapter 8, verse 28 says, anything that happens, anything that happens, regardless good or bad, what seems to be good, what seems to be bad, especially bad, what looks so desperately bad, God can turn it into something good. God is a way to do it. What's an example of that? 9/11. Where were you on 9/11? 2001. I was on my way to work that day. I was driving. Because my office would start at 9. So I was still driving. That happened around past 8, right? About a few minutes after 8. Was it? Yeah, but I was actually in Morristown, New Jersey.
I was working, so
I was driving.
8:40 something.
Yeah. Now, that's a horrible thing, right? 3,000 lives were lost. Now, how does Romans 8:28 apply? That's a terrible, horrible thing. It's a big tragedy, a tragic day in our history. But what good did God make out of it? Guess what? That same day, 9/11 and 9/12, 9/13, 9/14, 9/15, all the churches and houses, places of worship were filled.
Everybody's praying.
Everybody prayed.
And I remember, I don't know if it was just me who remember the news. There was really like the world stood still, like there was little to no crime going on, because this was a big crime in itself.
Imagine that. See how good God is? Romans 8:28 applied. God turning that tragedy into something really good. Everybody was praying. Everybody submitted to God, and there was no crime. Even the bad people stopped what they were doing.
Yeah, they were shocked themselves. They were praying too.
I don't know what happened, but I was driving and I felt it. I was miles away. I was in Morristown, New Jersey. Morristown. I was in Morristown. I was driving, and I felt it. I didn't know what happened, but I felt the difference right away. I really felt it. Although I had no idea what happened. What happened? Something happened. That's what I said to myself. Something happened. And I was praying the rosary too. When I drive long, I used to work in Morristown, and it's a long drive from Belleville, and I could pray the rosary. I could pray the rosary on the way. I had it on CD. The rosary, and plus the Chaplet of Divine Mercy. When those two are done, I'm in Morristown. So it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I saw then the barricades they set up barricades. They closed certain roads. But I managed to get to work. And then when I got to the office, I saw nobody was working. Everybody was like staring at the various strategically placed TVs. And what happened? Then I saw the Twin Towers. They were in smoke. But still, the second plane has not hit the other tower. That's when I got to work. Got to the place. But you see how Romans 8:28 applies. It really does. Now, what strange blessings does poverty bring? I have 4. 4 strange blessings poverty brings. Number 1, the desire portrait. It's a metaphor that the hunger for earthly food is actually hunger for God. It's actually hunger for God. You remember the first meeting also last Sunday? There was Elijah. Elijah, as the prophet of God, went to a place called Zarephath. Remember? That's the first meeting last Sunday. The place called Zarephath, that name means refining fire. That place, Zarephath, actually meant refining fire. You know what refining fire is? Refining fire. Purgatory. there's a woman, yeah. Elijah asked the woman to, you know, Elijah was a little bit, well, he's some character too. He said to the woman, can you give me something to drink? And the woman was a widow. She had her son, and she was preparing food for herself and her son. And the flour, she was baking bread. And Elijah found out. And then she says, this is, the flour I have is just about enough for me and my son. And then Elijah said, can you get me some water? And she did. And while she was walking to fetch the water, she said, and bring bread too. Bring me some cake with icing. And this poor widow, if you were in her shoe, what would you do? No, it's just enough for me and my son. But Elijah assured her. You see, when the readings are turned into stories like this, it becomes interesting. It becomes interesting. But when it's read, it's not interesting. Now, what happened then? What happened next? Elijah said, don't worry. Just use whatever flour you have. Just use whatever oil you have. It will never go empty. Trust me. I'm a prophet of God. Do it. She did. It never went empty. And she was able, out of that flour, she was able to make and bake bread for 1 whole year. And 1 whole year does not mean our 365 days. No. That 1 year in the Bible means all the time. She never ran out of flour. The container never went empty, just as the oil didn't go empty. Never. Isn't that beautiful? It's here too. He never fails. God never fails. So you'll see all the readings will boil down to this. So that's what that is. Refining fire is actually purgatory. You know that? Do you know that in the state, purgatory is not a place, I keep saying. Purgatory is a condition. Purgatory is a process. Refining fire, just like who loves jewelry? You know, gold and silver. They have to be subject to refining fire to look good, right? Now our souls are the same. We have to go through this refining fire for us to be worthy to enter heaven. Is it painful to be in purgatory? Yes. It's suffering. But
Good suffering.
it's not as bad as the other side, the other one, as hell. Just keep in mind one thing. When you go through the process of purgation in purgatory, you are guaranteed heaven eventually. You're guaranteed heaven. You can say that to St. Peter. My Bible teacher said, I'm guaranteed heaven, so. Because that's the fate of the church. The church says so, and so be it. Number 2, the dimensions of poverty. Why do some people go poor? Why is there so much suffering around us? I've been asked these questions many times in the course of time. Even the Jews that confronted me once. If your Jesus is God, how come there's suffering in the world? Easy answer. Because there is such a great risk in riches and comfort. That's why there's poverty. When you have so much money, there's no time for God. Not as much time for God. Generally. Generally. The super rich people, do you think they will take time to attend a Legion of Mary meeting? Probably not. Probably not. Do they have time to attend Bible study classes? Probably not. They're so busy. They're so busy entertaining themselves, their friends, and keeping up with the requirements of their status. You know, there's a television channel. It's called Wealth TV. Have you heard that? Wealth TV. Yeah. Everything about the wealthy is there in that channel. They have behind the gates. They will open those mansion gates and they will show you the inside now. Those private islands. That's why I learned about David Copperfield. David Copperfield, he bought a private island. Big. I forgot how many 100 acres. A private island on his own. He has his own pier, dock. He has his own runway. Of course, he has like 4 houses there. For summer, for winter, for... Yeah, and he has gardens. He has everything there. And he has his own little airport. Because everything has to be flown in. It's just island. He has a boat, everything. And those rich people, that's what they get themselves busy with. They're super rich people. They have no time for God. The rich people, you know what the super rich people would be doing at this very time? Maybe that, or maybe they're looking at the stock market. They're looking at their investments. How did the Dow Jones fare this day? You know, what's the prime rate like? Those are the issues in their mind all the time. I know, I work in Wall Street. That's how I see people. They're so busy. What's the Dow Jones Industrial Average? What's Standard & Poor's? Did it make it? Did the company make it? Standard & Poor's. Those are the issues in their mind all the time. Oh wait, there's a new car. I want a customized car. I want a customized plane. I want this. Oh, I want to get rid of this. Oh, there's an auction in Geneva, in Switzerland. I'm going tomorrow to Switzerland, so I want to participate in some auction. Yeah. Those are the issues they have in their heads. Who has time? Poor people, they don't have time for this. They belong to the elite, the 1%. That's why when you're rich, Jesus said, Book of Matthew, it's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to get to heaven. It's because of this. Because there's so much riches, there's so much comfort. Yeah. You know, the rich do not wear clothes more than once. They have worn it, either they give it away, donate to charity, or whatever. They're not going to wear it again. It's a shame to be seen in the same dress 2 different occasions.
Yeah, they've been saying that about the princess. You know, like, oh, she used this dress the 2nd time already.
Oh, you're talking about Kate Middleton? Yeah.
And I'm like, so what? I used the dress already.
Yeah, they even pictured her, this one occasion, the same dress. The same dress.
So what? People so silly.
In poverty, there's less is more.